Murkowski.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And Administrator Vought, thank you for being here today to answer our questions, whether it's on the specifics of this rescission package to where this all might be headed with the Impoundment Control Act. I think probably to a number, every one of us is supportive of PEPFAR and the intent of that program. I think we all recognize that most of everything we do around here isn't entirely perfect, and we try to do as good as we can and improve it every single opportunity that we have. I'm going to ask you some questions with regards to Corporation for Public Broadcasting, but just kind of from a more general perspective, it's absolutely the administration's right to send us rescissions. It's our right as a Congress to then figure out whether or not we're going to support them. But I am going to strongly push back against my colleague here on this side of the aisle, Senator Kennedy, in his comments, basically saying that all we have anymore when it comes to appropriations are CRs, which are a miserable option, and rescissions. I refuse that. I reject that. And I think that not only we as appropriators on this committee should reject that, but we as members of the Senate, members of the Congress, should reject that. It's pretty clear in Article 1 what it is that we're supposed to be doing when it comes to the power of the purse, appropriations. We have a responsibility, and Administrator, you have aptly pointed out that maybe in some of these areas we have failed because I think many of the initiatives that you have specifically cited to our constituents would probably say that's not what was intended. But this is our role here in the Congress and as appropriators to again assert our role and our responsibility. I don't object to the fact that you have come to this hearing today to present your review. That's absolutely fair and legitimate. But I want us as senators, I want us as members of the legislative branch to make sure that we are being faithful and have fidelity to our requirements under the Constitution as well. So I want to ask about public broadcasting in the time that I have here. You have said that, and it's more specific to NPR, I think, but you said that basically it's all political. I am going to give you a little bit of a bird's eye view of what I consider to be not political when it comes to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and the role that they play in my state. I've got kind of a memo here from Coast Alaska, which is our Alaska Public Media, outlining the various public media stations around the state of Alaska. I'd like permission that they be included as part of the record.
Without objection.
But there's 22 different stations that are listed here, and they're everywhere from 24% of their annual budget to 70% in Sandpoint, in communities that are relatively small but have extraordinary reach. In Barrow, the station up there covers some 95,000 miles. When the fiber optic cable was severed by ice about 6 or 7 months ago, that has still not been repaired. It's public broadcasting that is beaming out to the 8 communities out there to keep those people connected. Right now, we've got wildfires that are raging in the interior part of the state, and so at Fort Yukon and McGrath, it is just our public radio stations that are providing the updates to get people into safe areas. Senator Rounds mentioned the very important role that we see with regards to our tribes. We have more than 60 tribal stations that is served out of KNBA that would be disproportionately impacted, where they offer emergency alerts, vital community connections. So I'm going through their concerns, because almost to a number, they're saying that they will go under if public broadcasting funds are no longer available to them. And you've indicated that, well, they're going to have time to readjust their budget because it's not going to be this fiscal year, that's going to be impacted. When you have a community like Sandpoint out in the Aleutian Islands, where 70% of their budget comes from public broadcasting, or in let's just say Wrangell, because I'm going to be going there in a few days, 50% of their budget comes from public broadcasting. There's no way to recalibrate. There is no safety valve for them. So, Administrator, I've run out of time to ask my question, but I hope you feel the urgency that I'm trying to express on behalf of the people in rural Alaska, and I think in many parts of rural America, where this is their lifeline. This is where they get the updates on that landslide. This is where they get the updates on the wildfires that are coming their way. And so how they will be able to not only get the emergency alerts that they need, but also the weather reporting to make sure that that fisherman out in Unalaska can go out safely, so that these communities can be connected when the deadly landslide has come through. I know Senator Rounds has asked for specific help with regards to the tribes, but mine is much bigger, and I think we're not necessarily alone. We're just a little more extreme in the ask.
Senator, thanks for the comment, and we'll definitely work with you throughout the process if it's not in the fiscal year 26. I think we're to the point, for decades we've had concerns with the extent to which public broadcasting was funding content that was run contrary to the American people, and we've got to get to the point where we can finally deal with that. And we believe we put forward a proposal that gives a run rate to be able to deal with that. But I certainly want to work with you throughout the various opportunities that we have moving forward.
Senator Peters.